Owning Bitcoin is better than owning a house or any other asset. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Wherever you are in this beautiful world, whenever you're watching this video, welcome to the Bitcoin family channel. For the newcomers, my name is Didi, and yes, I am born to be free. Get these shirts in our store and show people you're born to be free. In today's video, we're gonna look at two news items that are really interesting, dive into some very interesting charts as well, and then close it off with a beautiful inspirational quote. Let's first look at the news, why Bitcoin is king, why Bitcoin is the best asset out there. Bam! The first news item is about Australian homeowners. They all got robbed out of their homes, guys. And people might not know this, but what happened in Australia can happen also to European homeowners or any other homeowner all over the world. In Australia, the paper parchment deeds changed from paper to digital. And that is not an issue. Of course, we want those deeds to be on the blockchain and not on paper, because paper can burn, paper can get lost through wars, etc. I have seen that happening in Indonesia, where my grandfather is from. When he was brought to the Netherlands, all the deeds were destroyed in the archives, and by that he didn't own the land anymore, and by that when he came back there was no land anymore. So yes, I am a supporter of converting paper deeds into digital deeds on the blockchain. But the trick was in the words, in one tiny little word that now makes it not a freehold land anymore, but a leasehold. Freehold means you own the land. The king, the crown, whatever government it is, sells you the land. You fully own the land. Leasehold means you're leasing the land for 30 years and you can extend it with another 30 years and then extend it another 30 years. In Thailand, it's 90 years leasehold. But you don't own the land. You only own the building on top of the land. But if you don't have access to the land, what do you have the building for? Your home. Now in Australia, they did a very smart trick, because in the wording, it normally stated on the deeds in fee simple, meaning freehold. But by converting the paper deeds into the digital deeds, they changed those words to fee simple, which is meaning leasehold. So that's one of the biggest heists ever. They robbed all the Australian owners of their land and their homes built on top of that. That is one of the reasons why we as a family sold our house 100 Bitcoins and they will never buy back a house. Yes, we could buy back the house now with 4 Bitcoins, maybe even 3 Bitcoins in a couple of months. But we will never buy back the house because we won't ever fully own it. I do fully own my Bitcoins. They are mine. Nobody can confiscate them. Nobody can tell me they're not mine. I hold them in my private storage. They are mine, fully mine. That's not for your house. Especially not when you buy a house with a mortgage, then you are depending on the bank. That bank owns your house until those 30 years you have paid off that house like 6 times because of the interest, and then you still really don't own the house because they will force you to take another mortgage, etc, etc, etc. You will be always in debt to that bank. And the second reason, of course, is because you can now see in Australia they were able to confiscate your house and your land in a very simple trick, by changing the deeds into digital and changing one word. This can happen all over the world, guys. So that's the first news item. Don't buy a house, buy Bitcoin. That will outperform any real estate asset, and at the same time you really own it. The second news item, I will show you this small table over here, and you can see that even though of all the other things that you might be thinking about investing in other assets, Bitcoin, with even this pullback now, like a 30% pullback, is still outperforming all the other assets. If you look at the Bitcoin performance from the beginning of the year, it's outperforming all of these assets over there. It's just outperforming. So still, Bitcoin is the king when it comes to investing your capital into something that's a safe storage, that's a safe hedge, that is a gold of the 21st century, outperforming all of the other assets. So yes, also when it comes to investment, as you can see over here, Bitcoin still the king. And as you also can see, guys, the Bitcoin ETF starting to have positive inflows again. You can see that also here in this table. Yes, we are seeing positive inflows in the ETFs again, the spot ETFs like IBIT from BlackRock. So this is also turning around. We saw like almost a couple of weeks, I think 6 weeks of outflows in these spot ETFs. We are seeing inflows now. This could mean this is a moment that the reversal will start, and more the price will grow because more and more people will start to buy back the Bitcoins at these cheap prices around 80K. This is buying the dip. Also BlackRock is buying the dip. All these institutions are buying the dip. We can see slowly more inflows into the spot ETFs again, which is very positive if you ask me. And then I have a third news item as well, guys, because I read something about Xapo Bank. I don't have Xapo Bank. I've never used Xapo Bank. I'm gonna look into what it is. It should be some kind of a crypto-friendly bank, but they are now going to start and offer up to $1 million loans where you can use your Bitcoin as collateral. So they're going to target the Bitcoin community that wants to hodl their Bitcoins. Even in the bull market, they want to hodl their Bitcoins. Xapo Bank is now targeting those people that say, hey, I want to hodl the Bitcoins, but they still need some dollars to do other stuff. Xapo Bank is now giving out loans with Bitcoin as a collateral up to $1 million. I don't know the complete details because they didn't announce details yet of how much Bitcoins that you need to use as collateral to get $1 million of loans. But there's another bank becoming more and more crypto friendly and telling people, hey, yeah, we will hold your Bitcoins. You can get US dollar as a loan, not stable coins in crypto, just US dollar. You can buy a house with that, whatever you want to do, or invest in more Bitcoins, you know, and when the price of Bitcoin starts to grow, you can pay back that debt of the interest of the growth of your Bitcoin price. When Bitcoin goes down, you probably need to put a little bit more collateral in. I don't know the details, but there's another bank, Xapo Bank, now going to give up $1 million loans if you use your Bitcoin as collateral. That's another use case for Bitcoin, storing your store value, storing the gold of the 21st century, while you still are able to use US dollars all over the world to do whatever the fuck you want to do. Now it is time to jump into the charts and to show you what is happening to Bitcoin and what I expect to happen to Bitcoin in the next couple of days, guys. Oh, by the way, that huge whale that opened that short, they closed their short. They took 9 million profit, of he or she or they, whatever it is, of them, whatever you should call them. They took $9 million profit on that short. But because all the numbers that came out in the United States government were a little bit more positive, he decided to close that trade. So yes, he decided to close all the shorting, and yes, that means less selling pressure, maybe some buying pressure building up. Maybe the guy will go long. Keep track of that huge whale that's taking all these very risky trades, but there seems to be some real good trades in those. Long was good, the short was good, maybe he will go another long. Keep track of that wallet. Now let's deep dive into the charts, guys. Bam! The first chart for today, guys, is this 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, many scenarios I drew. This one didn't happen. This one did partially happen, but we didn't break out to the top. Didn't happen. We didn't crash all the way to the 70K level, so we are still, that didn't happen. So at the moment, we are finding support on this level over here, like 80K-ish, and we're kind of going sideways again. And what we can see on this 4-hour chart is that Bollinger Band starts to contract again and become very tight. So that will probably take another couple of days, all the way, probably till the weekend, like Thursday and Friday still. And then from that moment in the weekend, let's hope we attack this 86K level and break it. If not, we can see another retracement, guys, down back to this channel line, and that will be in the weekend low, guys. That will be here. That will like be at the 77K line almost, or even down below. Let's see. Short term, I don't bother too much about short term. I buy these dips because I believe in Bitcoin in the long term. So I will keep adding Bitcoin around 80K to my portfolio because long term, you know, we just found support on the weekly chart on this red line in between those two blue lines, and the two blue lines came from the previous stop. You can see it's support area. We found support in this area with a wick to the bottom line, to the red line, support on the top blue line. This next candle is closing in 4 days. It should be a little bit more bullish in my opinion. We need to close a little bit higher, like 83K or 84K would be a beautiful candle. And then, guys, this is what I expect. I expect we go up massively to 160,000 US dollar. And it will take, like I told you, till the end of like August, September, October, till the end of September, beginning of October. That is when I expect it. Let me pull it all the way till where I expect it, over there. That is where I expect the top. So I believe that from this moment, we'll be bouncing, coming down, going up higher, look above 120K, somewhere in May, come down summer, go higher, maybe blow off top over there, and then we come back again for the bear market. That is what I expect that the Bitcoin price will do. But I will show you this a little bit more clear on the next couple of charts, guys. Bam, this is the first one. This one are the periods to make profits. This is a very old chart, and this chart has been right all of the time, and it would mean at the moment that the period from 2023, let that be the bear market bottom when I told you all to buy, and those 3 years to 2026 is the period to make profits. You should be selling the end of 2025, the beginning of 2026, we should start to sell. That is where we take profits. End of 2025, beginning of 2026 is where you take your profits. These are the B levels, the years of good times, high prices, and time to sell stocks and values of all kinds. So yes, we are gonna take profits towards the end of 2025. And then the next 6 years, guys, just be very clear, 2032, that would be, again, not the best moment. This is the bear market. This is the bottom price in 2032. Years of hard times, low prices, and good time to buy stocks. 2032, you should be buying again. You know, I don't know if this completely counts for the Bitcoin bull market, because the next Bitcoin bull market will be in 2029. So maybe Bitcoin acts a little bit different, but if you look in the bigger scale, this chart has been right for many times. Now, if there will be panics, that will be in those years. 2019, yeah, I think we had a pandemic or something. 2035 could be the next one. But just keep track of these bull market cycles on the larger scale, guys. Again, for Bitcoin, there can be multiple bull and bears in this period, but still, it's not the best period, they say, from 2026 to 32 to be investing. You know, who knows? Who knows? This chart is from 1875. That's when it was created. Now, this chart is 2017, and I think this one is very important for you guys to understand. On this chart, you can see how Bitcoin moved in 2017. Now, this is a one-day chart, so Bitcoin one-day candles. And in March, look to this bottom part, 26th of March 2017, we have been moving at that moment from all the beginning here, let's say that's September-ish in 2016, all the way 5 months long between two levels, the green line and the blue line. We kept moving in between the green line, top at the blue line, bottom at the green line, top at the blue line, bottom at the green line. Now from 26th of March, we start to move upwards, break that blue line, break that dark red line, even go to the light red line. Then we had a massive pullback, 38%. Then from there, bam, we moved on higher and higher and higher, all the way up to the bull market top of 20K. The thing that I want to show you in that bull market year 2017 is that it started in the end of March, that we finally broke out of these two lines, the blue and the green. Okay? Now let's go to the chart now. This is the chart now. We are here now. We are in March. What have we been doing the last 5 months? We have been in the 5 months period, here is also a day chart, being between the green and that blue line again. Top at the blue line, bottom at the green line, top at the blue line, bottom at the green line. If we, towards the end of March, would start to break out the same way, not to the dark, but to the red, the light red line, that one is now already at 181K. So if we would do the same move as we did in the previous bull market of 2017 that looks like this one, we could easily explode to that level and then pull back to this level and then maybe even extend it to that green line, the 280K or the 400K if you're really going to be bullish, bullish, bullish like 2017. I'm just showing you this not to show you how I think Bitcoin could go higher, but to show you, yes, this is a normal move. Bitcoin acting in between two lines can take some time, but after that it will break out. And I believe it will break easily out to this dark red line. It's the 160K level. That is what I believe. And it will take all the way to this area over there. There I think where it will break out. And if you're really bullish, yes, we could break out to the top, even a little bit higher, or maybe to 250K over there. But that is what I expect still for Bitcoin in the next couple of months. For all those people that are asking me, Didi, what's going to happen with Ethereum? Is Ethereum dead? Will Ethereum still survive? Will there be an Ethereum market, like an altcoin market? Will there be an altcoin market? I'm going to show you this chart. Okay, Ethereum at the moment, this was the pandemic crash. You know, we can see this megaphone pattern, pandemic crash. From the pandemic crash, we start to go to the top, and then we broke it with Ethereum. We are seeing the same. This is the moment of the 1.5 billion each stolen in Bybit. That's a huge, huge event. From here, Ethereum could be acting the same way and going up and breaking out. But if you really ask me for my opinion, to be clear, this also happened in March. Look here, March 2020. This is now March 2025. Coincidence, huh? Now, if you really ask me my opinion about these altcoins, I only can share you this chart. For me, Bitcoin is the king. Bitcoin should be the biggest part of your portfolio. And why the biggest part of your portfolio? Because if you look to Doge to Bitcoin, minus 72%. Doge is underperforming. Solana BTC minus 56%. Cardano BTC minus 90%. Here XRP BTC minus almost 90%. Link BTC minus 80%. ETH BTC minus 77%. If you would have been in Bitcoin all the time, you would have outperformed all these assets massively. Bitcoin is the king. The biggest part of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin. 70%. 20% layer 1 altcoins, 10% high risk other currencies. Meme coins, NFTs, whatever you think that is making you more profit than Bitcoin at that moment. But always keep Bitcoin as the biggest part of your portfolio, because you can see that if you pair them to other currencies, they're all being destroyed by Bitcoin. I hope you really enjoyed the charts. Yes, short term, a lot of volatility again, beautiful moments to buy the dip. Will we be able to buy these dips below 100K for a long time? I don't think so. I do believe that towards May, we will cross above the 100K level again, even up to 120K. I think April and May are going to be fucking bullish months. March, if you look to history, always bearish. More Marches were bearish in the last 10 to 15 years than bullish. April and May, always bullish, guys. We will see a beautiful April and May. I think the star sign in April and May also is Taurus. So that's a bull. Bullish months. We will see Bitcoin going up above 100K again. So if you buy the dip now, you'll be making profits in a couple of weeks, months, guys. And yes, of course, for the investors, zoom out. Zoom out. Look at that bigger picture. Don't freak out too much about these charts. Keep investing the reserve capital into Bitcoin. Treat Bitcoin as your strategic reserve capital, as the gold of the 21st century, as your pension fund, as your saving fund, as the only asset that is outperforming all the other assets in the long term as well. Just keep buying and just keep being happy and just keep zooming out in Bitcoin and zooming in at life and trying to enjoy every single day, guys. Now, let's jump into the inspirational quote. The inspirational quote has to do with our family life. The first problem for all men and women is not to learn, it's to unlearn. And why unlearn? Because if we are brainwashed through the schools, through centralized entities, through governments, through people not knowing what is happening in the world, we need to unlearn before we can become free, because we are born to be free, and before we can live this life to the fullest. I saw it with my own children. The first years of their life, they were raised in a normal way, going to schools. And those schools teach them certain things that I might not believe or agree with. But still the school was teaching them all that history that I don't think that is the truth. Still the schools were telling them, hey, yeah, we did land on the moon, for example. You know, all of these things that has not been proven by facts will be pushed into the brain of my child. They were learning all of kinds of stuff every day and again. The rules that they need to obey, the hand that they need to raise to be able to go to the toilet. All of that brainwashing was learned. And that is not the difficult part. The difficult part for us as a family was to unlearn, to tell them from the moment we start to travel, hey, stop. Everything you learned in the past has never been proven right. Nobody knows if that's the full truth, yes or no. Nobody knows if the pyramids were built in that way. Nobody knows if Africa is not the biggest continent, or maybe it is the United States. It's all things that the schools based on what they want people to know. And to unlearn your kids, to tell them, hey, don't see everything as a truth. Start to do your own research and see yourself as truth. That was a very difficult process. Because unlearning is something that's very difficult, because you always keep stuck in those beliefs, in those things that you learned, in those things that people told you that were the truth. You keep on hanging in there. Even after having been fooled by all the pharmaceutical world, by all the media about some kind of pandemic that would kill you, you still now trust the same media, the same government, and whatever they tell you. If it is that Bitcoin is bad, or if it is that gold is the best, or if it is that electric cars are good or bad, you still keep depending and trusting on those people. Why? Because you don't do your own research. You just keep learning. You need to start unlearning. You need to start not believing all of that stuff that everyone tells you without you doing your own research. Is the earth round? Is the earth flat? He is saying this, he is saying that. As long as I don't do my own research, and as long as I can't prove it, I can't believe it. So stop learning to people whatever you think that they need to learn, if it's more important that they really discover the truth. And that is the path we took with your children. We just said, fuck schools. Why would I go to schools to brainwash them for a future that is not there? The schools were still thinking that memorizing skills and memorizing books and doing mathematical solutions and all that stuff was still important in the future. That's why they push that stuff into the heads of your children. I already told them in my first book that I wrote, that's not going to be necessary anymore, because we will have other tools that will be way more advanced and that will make all the things that we have learned in the past invaluable. We don't need to be able to memorize books anymore, because we have now ChatGPT. We don't need to be able to be a programmer anymore and go to a 4-year IT school to become a programmer. We have now algorithms that create programs like this if we just give them the good input. The world is changing. Schooling is not changing. Schooling is still the same as it was 100 years ago, preparing kids for the past. We need to start to prepare the kids for the future. That's why we took them out of the school and we told them, hey, unlearning now. 3 months to 1 year, whatever it takes to unlearn, de-stress from the schooling system. And then you start learning. But you start learning the way we should be learning, by discovering, by experiencing, by running around this beautiful globe and seeing and tasting and feeling. That is the way you should be learning, not from a book. You can read a book about an elephant. You will never know how that elephant smells, how strong it is, how big it is, until you meet a real elephant here in Thailand. That is the school of life. So, the most difficult things for you and me to do is unlearn. But try it. Try not to believe everything people tell you. Try not to believe all the books. Just start to discover it for yourself. That is the only way you will learn the real truth. Even that fly here is understanding me now. He's like, zzz. That was everything for today, guys. I hope you really enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy the video, give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. What do you think about all the things I talked about, the news, the charts, and the inspiration quote? Thanks for watching. I wish you an amazing Wednesday. See you tomorrow on Thursday again. Bam!